supermarket that's called Mass. The quest is on to find the cheapest bottle of wine in the store. Let's have a look. Been up and down the aisles and we found it. €1.59. That's the cheapest bottle we could find, so we want to get that a go when we get home. Not only do we want a cheap bottle of wine, we want some cheap snacks as well. 70 cents. Hello and welcome to this episode of Wine Diaries. Today we have this bottle. It's Don Simon and it is let's see if I can pronounce this right because my Spanish still isn't great, but I think it's pronounced Airen wine. It's nice and cold, it's been in the fridge overnight. Yes. So I think Jason's going to crack on and open it. With corkscrew.
Yeah, I think this is another bottle that has a corkscrew in it. Not very many have the screw top.
No, and me, even at my ripe old age, I cannot open a bottle with a corkscrew. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, I can't wait to have a try. I'm going to review it, taste it, a little chat about it, and then read some reviews from other people from the app. Vivino, is it?
Vivino.
Yeah.
Still not a sponsor of the channel.
Be a while before that ever happens, eh?
Well, you don't know.
We like some snacks with our wine, so we've got these conos, and they are bacon and cheese flavour, and these were 70 cents. We got the wine and the snacks from a supermarket in a little town in Benmadna called Arroyo de la Miel, and really good shop, isn't it? Really good value.
Really good, really cheap.
Yeah.
How much was the wine?
Was it €1.59?
I think it was €1.39.
We believe we might have. Well, actually, we went to hunt the cheapest bottle of wine that we could find in the supermarket Mass, and we believe that was the one. We didn't find anything cheaper, so we thought, you know, stick into a tight budget here. Let's try the cheapest wine in the shop and see what that's like.
And I'm just going to try and see if I can confirm what the price was, because I think it was $1.39.
€1.39 for a 75 centimetre. That's not centimetre, is it?
It might be 75 centimetres, I'm not sure.
Don't speak when you've got crisps in your mouth. Shocking. Right, I'll pour this out.
Okay, you pour it out. I'll check the price.
Okay, you check that price.
A nice big glass.
That's
anyway.
Nice. These glasses are big. We talked about these glasses last week. You got from IKEA.
IKEA.
Yeah, it's really good. Put that there.
Yes, we got them from IKEA. Links in the description below.
So, what do you think of the colour first of all? It's quite a straw yellowy colour, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it's got a bit more yellow in it than the one we reviewed 2 weeks ago. That was a lot clearer.
Yeah,
that one's got
this is
definite
more
yellow
sure.
colour to it.
As you're probably aware, if you've seen our last video, we're not wine connoisseurs, but we do love a glass of wine, particularly white. Have a little try. I'll have a little smell first.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Have a little sniff.
Not bad, that.
I think
Quite nice actually, that one.
Was it? I think I smell apples in there.
Yeah, I think I get a little bit of apple
it's
taste.
Definitely a fruity wine. Can you taste apples in there?
Yeah, I can actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I can taste the apples in that. It's quite a nice drink.
Oh
that.
my! I tell you, for me, it's very dry.
I don't know what it says on the bottle actually,
Yeah,
so let me have a little look. So it's 75 centilitres and it's 11.5% volume. So that's not too bad. Don Simon, and it was in. It's a Spanish wine actually.
So this grape, it's I hope you notes here. It's one of the most sort of like popular grapes to use in a wine. And they are planted in central Spain. And the winery that done this wine is in Murcia. And Don Simon Company is owned by the Don Simon brand, should I say, not company, is owned by a company called J. Garcia Garrillon, and that's a family business which started with juices and things. I mean, you'll probably know Don Simon from the orange juices and the tomato juices that they do. They do all sorts of juices. In fact, I didn't even realise they did wines, you know, but they do. But yeah, and that company formed, but it was 120 years ago, and
Wow.
they formed the Don Simon brand in 1989. But I think it started
really?
with the juices.
Ah.
So it's been going quite a while, but I'll have another try.
Yes, let's have another taste.
Personally, for me, I find it too dry, but if you like it dry, you know, you can be right up your street. And I could smell the apples, but I can't actually taste them.
I've got a slight taste of
Yeah.
apple, but it doesn't actually tell you how sweet or dry it is actually.
No.
It just says, interesting enough, obviously it's a Spanish wine.
Yes.
We bought it in Spain, but yet in England, in English, it says selected wine from Spain on the front
Yes,
of the
so
label.
it doesn't let you know if it's a dry, unless that grape gives the game away. You
Could
know,
well
the,
do, yes.
The Airen grape. I mean, obviously, I'm not pronouncing it right, of course. I did read that this grape as well, they use it a lot, massively actually, to produce brandy, because it works really well at high temperatures. So it makes a lot of brandy out of this wine, particularly Spanish brandies. So that's an interesting fact to know, isn't it?
It is, and interestingly
Yeah.
as well, on the back of the label, it says, now take the chance to enjoy Don Simon Selection. A wine made with traditional local grape variety Airen. So obviously that's the wine.
Airen. I think it's
Airen.
pronounced Airen. I mean,
Airen, a bit like Ira.
if anybody there speaks Spanish better than us, or if anybody who is Spanish, that'll be a lot of people
Oh, yeah, a
who
lot of
speak
people.
Spanish. We are learning. I mean, we didn't move to Spain and think we're just going to go around speaking English, blah, 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 every single day. We actually do Spanish lessons every single day, but it's just so hard, isn't it?
It's really difficult.
I mean-
And one thing is learning the language. The other thing is actually being able to pronounce what you've learned
Yes.
in order that a Spanish person can understand it.
Yes, I mean, for me personally, I seem to learn one word, then I'll forget to learn one word, and I forget to. Oh, it's just absolute nightmare. But I'll never give up, because we're hopefully living in Spain for the rest of our life now. So we just have to keep going. I mean, such a lovely country to live in. We're in Torremolinos at the moment. We are moving inland in a few weeks' time, so we'll be doing the wine diaries from inland. So that'll be a totally different experience there. But it's just so nice. The temperature's like, well, it says on the weather app that it's 22 degrees, but it's not, is it?
It's a lot
It's like-
warmer than that. Really
It
does.
feels around 25. It's so nice. That's another airplane going across. As I said before, we live not too far from Malaga Airport. There, planes are on all day. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about before, so anybody can pronounce this for us. This would be great. Is it Airen? You were saying Airen or something?
Airen, wasn't it?
Airen? It might be Airen.
But it's A-I-R,
Yeah.
as in air,
Yes.
and then E-N, Airen.
Well, it'd be something like that. Yeah. Well,
But we shall find out. But yeah, it goes on to say on the label on the back that its fresh, crispy, fruity taste is ideal with fish, tapas, white meats, or on its own as an aperitif.
well, aperitif.
So there's a lot of these wines.
Would you like a snack, my darling?
I wouldn't mind trying one. What are these?
Cheese and bacon.
Cheese and bacon.
Colours, and they were 70 cents for an 80 gram packet. So
Nice.
Quite a bargain.
Yeah, very nice. It doesn't say on here that it goes well with Kronos, but I would say it
Oh, well.
does. So
Did it say cheese on there? Because these are meant to be cheese flavours.
it says white meats.
Oh well, you know, it's good enough,
Fish
isn't it?
tapas are white meats,
It's good enough.
but it
Good
doesn't
enough
mention
for us.
crisps. Maybe they need to update the label. And if you think he said he couldn't read Spanish and he's reading the label on the back of the bottle, it's actually got it in 3 different languages, one of which is English.
Yeah.
I should have pretended it was all in Spanish, really.
Yeah, we would have been impressed by that. Well, I would have knew the secret.
True.
Yeah, it's not for the one to try, you know, is it?
Absolutely
We do try
not.
every day.
Well, I actually quite like that.
It's a
a
little
nice
bit,
wine.
for me, it's a little bit dry, but it is fruity. It smells the apples. With regards to the flavour, I'm not getting apples at all. I can't really tell what I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm
What
getting a bit
what
apple.
do you see?
I'd say mainly
Yeah.
apples, I would say, for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would just put just a little dash of lemonade in, and that would give it that little bit of sweetness that I need. But that's because I'm sort of like a medium wine, so
Yeah.
but we didn't know what it was because it doesn't say. As I said before, the grape might be the obvious answer.
But
Answer, I don't
also
know.
we don't research these wines before we buy them.
No.
We like to be tasting them without any prior knowledge.
Yes.
Because then it gives us the best way of forming our own
Yes.
opinion on the wine rather than influenced by what other people say.
Exactly, and we go on the hunt for something. So last week we went for the hunt for a low alcohol wine, didn't we?
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
just picked that up from the shelf, and it was really, we liked the label, and I think it was actually the only one that was up there as well, apart from anything else, wasn't it?
It was the only one that was low alcohol that we could see.
Yeah, yeah.
Because over here the wines range from the one we found,
Yes.
which was 5.5%. Some of the wines are 14 and 15%, and I
Yes.
don't recall seeing wines that strong in England that I can remember.
No, I don't. We'll be coming on to great classes of brandy. The stronger they
Yeah,
get, don't
exactly.
they taste more like brandy-like?
And the week before we went on the hunt for what we thought was the best label we could find.
Yes,
And that was the green
That's
hoodie
right.
with the
It was.
wolf or the fox.
absolutely love that label. So we went on the hunt in mass supermarket for the cheapest wine that we could find.
But the cheapest bottle
Oh yeah,
wine.
bottled wine, because there was some cartons, and it was Don Simon as well, which were a bit cheaper, but it was bottled wine we were
Bottled
looking
wine
for.
this week we went for cheapest bottled wine we could find. And the question is, and it's $1.59, I've just checked.
Oh,
It is
$1.59. I thought you said $1.29.
I've just checked there.
Oh, okay, $1.59.
I've done my research live and exclusive
Oh,
as you were talking, and it's $1.59. And the question is this the cheapest bottle of wine in Spain? Because so far it's the cheapest bottle we found. So if you can find a cheaper bottle in Spain, let us know in the comments, and we can go and have a look for that one.
we will certainly have a look at that for that one, and we will try. But that's a bottle of wine that you
Bottled
want
wine,
to find.
yes.
It's got to be a bottled wine. That's what we are on the hunt for. The cheapest bottle of white wine at the moment
White wine at the moment,
in Spain. What is it?
$1.59. Can you beat it? That's the challenge.
Yes.
Shall we take a look at some of the reviews on the really good app that doesn't yet sponsor the channel? Vivino.
Yes, stick it on. Let's have a look.
And if you don't have the app, I can definitely recommend it. It's really, really easy to use. What you do is, once you've got the app, you can take a photo on the bottle of the label of the wine, and it will actually search for the wine based on that photograph. So it's a really clever app.
Good.
And then once you've found that, you can then start reading the reviews. You can read leave your own review on it. So we'll take a look at what some of the people have said. That's if we can see the screen, because it's really sunny.
Yeah,
so
it's very sunny.
trying to
today.
see the screen is a little bit difficult, but let's have a try. Okay, so where we're
You
going
might have to go off camera and shout them out.
might have to take my sunglasses off just so I can see these reviews a bit better. Yeah, so the sunlight is really making it difficult, but that's okay. So this is a review from, it's from March this year. Oh no, sorry, March last year. So it's quite a reasonably recent review. 1.5 star rating.
Out of 5, isn't it again?
It's out of 5, yeah. So the bottle claims that this is the most sold Spanish wine in the world.
What? Well, probably because of the
At
price.
that price, I'm not surprised. I don't know how much it is elsewhere. I mean,
No.
you could rock up in the UK and probably find that for
Oh,
about
well,
£8 or
not-
£9.
We can guarantee it will not be £1.59.
And it's quite interesting because he says that it claims to be the most sold Spanish wine in the world. Must be made by sadists and those who require embalming fluid.
My word! That's a bit strong, isn't it?
On the nose, I'll be generous and say it's fruity with hints of gooseberry.
Gooseberry?
Interesting. On the palate, it's pretty dreadful. Watery and bitter. I don't get that at all.
I'm not getting watery. For me, I am getting the bitterness though. And the dry, it's not something I would buy again, unless I had a bottle of lemonade to top it up with.
Well, this guy's not a big fan because he goes on to say it's watery, bitter. This tastes like the end result of an industrial accident in a nail polish factory.
Wow! What?
So I'm not sure he'll be buying it again.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that about it, but yeah, I'm certainly no fan of it.
Yeah. It said another review here from Dan. Sour, not the best white wine, but it's cheap and okay for the price, and he's given it 3 stars, so quite a concise review from Dan, but he wasn't.
You know, if you're on a low
critical
budget and you really want a glass of wine, it's better than nothing. And as I said before, you could always top it up with a little bit of lemonade, couldn't you?
Oh, easily. You
could top it up with something to make it to your palate.
I mean, they have a average price on the app.
Yeah.
And this is based on prices from Vivino users. So these are people that have taken a photo of the label, they've found the wine, they've left the review, they put the price in that they paid for it, and there have been 458 ratings. There's had quite a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
And the average price is €3.23.
Wow, so we got a real bargain. Yeah, nearly half price to that.
Yeah, nearly half price. Out of the 458 reviews, it's got 3-star rating, which for $1.59 that we paid.
Yeah, because these reviews, like from 5, they're reviewing every single wine, isn't it? So to get a 3 out of 5 on that app, and they could be going against the top wines that's costing 30-40 euros a bottle, couldn't it?
Yeah,
you know, so
and also,
when you look at that's not a bad rating, really, is it?
Well, the average price is $3.23, so that means people have paid more than that. And people have paid less, so that's the average. That's going to come into your review as well. If you paid €8 or €9 for that bottle, you might rate it 3-star.
Yes, of course.
We paid $1.59, we might be rated 4.5, so that makes a big difference.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. Of course, you're going to do that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Naturally, you will.
And from all of the ratings, if I can just read them here. Okay, so here we go. So from all of those reviews, it's got 21 5-star reviews. So that's not too bad.
From how many?
438.
Quick, do your maths. What's the percentage?
It's probably about 7%, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 7.75.
I'm guessing that's just straight off the top of my head without even trying to calculate it.
Yeah.
In fact, no, it'd be more like 5%, really, isn't it? 5% 5 stars.
Yeah, but like you said, I think for the price that we paid, I would probably just give it a 3.
I'm more towards the 4, so possibly 3.5.
Yeah.
If you could do fractions, probably more like 3. Well, someone's done 3.5, so you can. So I'd probably say like 3.8, something like that.
But I think if I went and paid a bit more money for it, if it was like €3 plus whatever, then it'll probably just get a 1-star review from me. Because it's just to me, it doesn't have a lot of taste, and it's very, very dry.
Yeah, it is a dry, definitely dry.
I keep saying that, but I'm going to go in the fridge and see if we've got some lemonade to top it up after we finish wine diaries today.
Good luck with
I
that.
don't think I'm going to be able to manage this bottle.
So it's got 81 4-star reviews. That's really good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. That's not the percentage up, hasn't it?
And then it's got 220 3-star reviews. So that's not bad.
Yeah, you could be happy with the 3-star review, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's got 106 2-star reviews and 20 1-star reviews.
And can you give a 0 on that app or not?
I'm not sure if you can actually,
No,
because I've never actually tried, but I will have a look and see if you can, because I've never got to. Usually one's the lowest when you normally leave a review for something.
Yeah.
So here's another one from Mark. He says 2.5 stars, just full and heavy, no creamy, no fruity nuances to balance it out.
I sort of get a bit of that.
Didn't expect more. Didn't expect much though at the lowest price point. So that's,
you've got to weigh everything up,
haven't you? You've got to take that into consideration.
You've got to weigh it all up.
And this one is another one from Patricia, 3 stars again. Taste not bad, very acidic, easy to drink. Smells like some chip. Some chip. Oh, I think they meant to say dry, but it actually says some chip dry wine.
Cheap, it'll be cheap dry wine, yeah.
And that's not translated.
Well, it is cheap, you know. Well, for what we got it for anyway.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. But I think overall, how many stars are you giving it, did you say?
I'd say probably about 3.8, I think.
Right, okay. Because of its price, I'll give it a 3 as well. Because I know I can mix that up with something and I'll be able to drink it. So yeah, I'll give it a 3 as well. That's taking in consideration everything. You were going to talk a little bit about the driving licence situation here in Spain.
Yeah, so we've been in Spain just over 2 years. Came over just before Brexit and got the TIE card, which is the local residence card to say you can stay in Spain post Brexit. What I didn't know at the time is you could actually exchange your driving licence, and because I didn't know that, I didn't actually exchange my driving licence. And then after, I think it was the 31st of December 2020, that was the end of that process, and if you hadn't exchanged your driving licence by that time, you no longer could. Initially that wasn't a problem because Spain and the UK had a reciprocal agreement where Spain would recognise UK driving licences and they would be valid to drive in Spain, and in return the UK would recognise Spanish driving licences, and anyone in the UK with a Spanish licence would be okay to drive on the British roads. So that was a 3-month extension to the agreement, and they did that extension because they were busy negotiating to come up with a more permanent solution, and they didn't do it within the 3 months, so they extended it another 3 months, and again they negotiated, and again they didn't come up with a solution. I would suggest not very good negotiators if you can't. Bear in mind there's all that time before Brexit, and then you've got 6 months after Brexit, still no agreement, so they extended it again, so we had another 3 months. And I believe the stumbling block on the negotiations was the UK were not willing to give the Spanish authorities access to the DVLA database, which meant if you were a UK driver in Spain and you committed an offence, speeding, parking violation and something like that, the Spanish authorities would be unable to trace you because your licence details are on the DVLA database rather than the Spanish database. And that went on for some time, and it actually got to a point where they still hadn't made an agreement, and then they said we're not going to extend the exception anymore. So 10 months ago they stopped acknowledging British driving licences in Spain, which meant legally you were no longer allowed to drive in Spain on a UK driving licence if you were a resident. And it's okay if you're on holiday, when you come over you can drive on your British licence, but if you live here and you're a resident, you're no longer allowed to drive. That was resolved on the 16th of March, and they now have a 6-month window where you're allowed to exchange your UK licence for a Spanish one. And I thought that was going to be quite simple.
Yeah, but you went for your little test yesterday, didn't you?
So it's not just a case of saying there's my UK licence, give me a Spanish one. They like to do some tests on you first. So yesterday I went for my test. It was an eyesight test, so I had to read some letters from a board, pretty standard, no problem. The one I haven't done before is I had these little squares, all different colours, and they covered one eye, you had to read the colours, covered that eye, had to read some colours,
like
it was red, blue,
test,
green, possibly.
Yeah.
The only thing that threw us a bit, it was like blue, yellow, green, blue again, and you're thinking, would they have the same colour twice? But yeah, they did. So they did.
Yeah.
Well, the letters, they don't repeat the letters on the bottom line that will get me to read from, so surprised they repeated the colours, but they did.
But because it'll be a colour-blind test, I think.
And then they had this light box mounted on the wall, and it had this big light which looked like a car headlight in the light box, and then they had letters, and then they had numbers underneath, and then they said stare at the light box, so I stared at it, they pressed the button, boom, big flood of lights hit me in the eyes, It was like high beam from a car, and then they turned it off, and then they asked me to read the letters and the numbers underneath, and it was a little bit difficult because your eyes are all
Yeah, of course, yeah.
trying to recover from being blinded, and that was fun. Passed the test on that,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no problem. And then they take you on to do some, they call it physica in Spanish, probably bad pronunciation, but it's psycho-physical analysis. And that consisted of 2 turn wheels that you hold like that, and it was an old-fashioned monitor, and they had 2 red lines, and the lines would wave different things, and there was a circle, and you had to turn the handles as the red road moved on the screen, and you had to keep the white ball in between them. And then there was another one with a big line along there which represented a straight road and a grey tile, and there was a white ball, and it went like that, then it would disappear from view, and you had to press a button when you thought it would come back out the other end. So it was trying to get your...
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, trying to gauge your concept of speed, I would imagine. You had to do that like 6 or 7 times. But thankfully I passed, but that's only the first part. Now I've got to get in touch with the...
Thankfully he passed. He came out of there, his head like this. They said I was a very good driver.
Which is true.
It is true.
They did say that. They did say that.
But he, honestly, you could see him beaming, because I was sitting having a coffee while he was doing his test. I'm going to do mine in a few weeks' time. And honestly, I didn't always recognise him because his head was like that. I'm thinking, he's got the same clothes on as Jason. I don't know if it's him. And then he's waving his piece of paper, and I thought, oh, right, he's passed. Over the moon with himself. Oh, this is, I'm a great driver.
It's getting even better every time you tell the story. They did say good, but it's been very good, it's been great. You can tell it again, I'll be the world's best.
The world's best driver, he came out saying. That's what he was saying. But luckily, you had a translator in with him, so
Yeah,
could get a little bit of help there, didn't you? So
that made a big difference, because we
Yeah.
did try previously, and it was a place where they only spoke Spanish, and we thought we'd be able to muddle by. We've got a Spanish translator app on our phone.
and we do know a little bit of
Yeah.
Spanish. We're not, we're not complete novices, are we?
No, but they wouldn't give us any leeway. I was trying to speak to them in Spanish for the bits I didn't understand. I said I'll use my app. They said no, can't use an app. But you can bring someone in.
So, yeah, so luckily I've got some friends here, and I asked those on the group chat and said, oh yeah, there's somewhere in Arroyo which you can go, and they'll help you with a Spanish translator. So,
And they did, and they were great.
yeah, they were. Yeah, well, you said they were, I didn't go up, obviously. I was going to say they were fabulous. I wasn't even there.
No, they were really good, really helpful, and no problem at all. You had to go back. Well, I had the test at 12:30. Had to go back at 6 o'clock in the evening to pick up the certificate.
Yes, and then there's another part to it, isn't there? That we have to suss out what to do.
Got to
with that.
try and make an appointment on the website.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what that next bit is. I don't know if there's further tests or where I've got to go. It's just a case of turning up, giving your certificate, giving your license, possibly, and then get that changed over.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We shall find out.
Anyway, that'll wrap us up for today. Thanks for watching, and join us next week, which we'll be back on Monday, yeah?
Yes, next Monday.
And, oh, I don't know what we're going to review, do we?
No, not yet. So if you have any suggestions, do feel free to leave them in the comments below.
Yes.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click that notification bell for further updates. Cheers!